What's up, everybody? It's Andy with Nerds on the Run, and today we are doing one more Rick and Morty comic book review as we kind of do our informal countdown to Season 4's release. So, today's is trade number 4, and I'll be letting you all know some of the changes that I was a fan of, some of them that I wasn't, and hopefully, I know my upload schedule is a little bit sporadic, but my plan is to get through this entire series as it exists so far by the time Season 4 releases in November. So we're going to keep plugging away at these. And yeah, let's go. I will tell you that let's go through the format that they used. They did return to the format that includes, it's kind of the series or 3-issue arc that is the main plot. Then there are a couple of one-shots, and then they are the bonus shorts. Now, as I alluded to, if you saw in my last review, I really liked what they did, actually, that they did away with some of that stuff. They did have a main, a kind of a 3-arc thing. They did have the one-shots. I like that part of the formula. But in favor of the bonus shorts, they actually had a kind of a double-duty writer-illustrator by Tom Fowler, which I was quite a big fan of. And I'm sad to say that my wish with that did not come to fruition. So we will get to that in a minute. First of all, Tom Fowler is out, and Kyle Starks is in. Of the characters, as it were, as I've kind of praised some of the Path authors for. However, it is a little bit of a mixed bag. He does often have jokes land. He is a funny writer for sure, but he does get some of the and he gets some of that kind of Rick and Morty stammering right. You know, in the writing, in the comic bubbles, there are often little kind of false starts that are sort of emblematic of Justin Roiland's delivery of those characters. He gets that stuff right. Unlike Fowler and Gorman before him, as well as some of the guest writers, he doesn't always get some of the snark right. I feel like it's a little bit out of place. And, it might seem like a small thing, but, Rick's characteristic burping that he does sort of mid-word, I like how Fowler did it. I liked how Gorman did it, where it's kind of, a lot of time it's kind of mid-word, and he'll sort of, put sort of some hyphens with kind of some italics and elongate a syllable or especially a syllable that has a vowel in it. Gorman did something similar as well. Starks actually does more of a. It's a nitpick for sure, so it doesn't change the quality of the book. The important things are right, but he does kind of just a once in a while. Oh, that's right. Remember Rick is the guy that burps, so. They'll put a double hyphen, a U-R-R-R-P, put a ERP in there, and it's always between words. He never really interrupts himself with them. They're just kind of, they're just kind of thrown in there once in a while because, oh yeah, don't forget that Rick burps a lot. So it just it comes off as less integrated to how he kind of speaks through in the show, as a lot of us know. He kind of speaks through his burps and has a little bit of it just adds a little bit to the lines that are being said. So anyway, it's a super nitpick thing. I know I'm going on about it too long, but just so you all are aware that is something that's different in the style of Stark's writing. So let's get to the main 3-issue arc. Of course, CJ Canon, they are back as the main illustrator with Starks on author duties, and they get a lot right. I really have come to really settle in. I've always praised Canon's work and how they portray the characters in a way that's emulative of the show a little bit, but definitely, as I've seen now, has a little bit more of its own flair. Really good with action, and there's always action to be had in these books, and in this 3-issue arc is no exception. So Ricky Horror Peacock Show is the first issue in the 3-series arc. Of course, just like the show, I probably haven't mentioned this in my past reviews / countdown for this series, but they really do get the name kind of formula correct when the episodic name formula that they use for their issues. I think they get that stuff right quite often. So Ricky Horror Peacock Show, essentially Rick and Morty try to help Summer with some heartbreak. Issue 2 of it is New Rick City, and turns out Summer's new friend, when she's getting over her boyfriend's ex-boyfriend, is a interplanetary pimp and scumbag, which that's, I guess, not, that's par for the course for Rick and Morty. And then issue 3 is Desperately Me Seeking Ruin. Really kind of riffs on Breaking Bad a little bit, but obviously has a, basically Rick, turns out, surprise, surprise, he's been trying to help himself all along. He's trying to develop basically a drug that can be sold on the black market in the Federation. And of course, Mr. Meeseeks, as the name implies, appears to help people out. So it is very much appreciated. It's probably kind of cliche amongst Rick and Morty fans, but I am such a fan of Mr. Meeseeks, so I was glad to see that stuff back. So the one-shots were varying in quality. I will say Rick Byrne Dude is a one-shot that is, Ellerby's back on duty there, and there's some royal hijinks with Morty as a kind of a literal virus vector, like a Trojan horse type situation, and Rick is at his worst at times. That one was a pretty high quality trade. I will say Ellerby's action, I've had some complaints about their use of action, and I think the action is better in this one. Still not to the level of Canon's for sure, but definitely better. And then the other one shot in this one is Morty Bounce to the Ounce. And I will tell you, I have to be careful what I wish for, I guess, because just like Fowler did in the previous trade, Starks does pull double duty on writer and illustration duties. And as I alluded to last time, a lot of times you have to make concessions. Fowler, that was not the case. Fowler is an excellent artist, really stylized, really interesting, good action. Starks does not, well, I'm just going to show you a panel really quick. And I don't mind some kind of remedial art. I don't mind, or not, remedial is maybe too mean of a word. But I don't mind some art that's different from what the show offers. But I just don't like the art style. He does get the characters right often enough that he's able to, they still look like themselves. But it's just, it's not art that I'm really into. I'm constantly making concessions. The lining is really heavy, which is what they're going for. But I really don't enjoy the characters as they appear. They're very emotive, they're very expressive, so I can't really undersell them for that. But I'm just not into the really kind of, it's put together pretty haphazardly. And most panels are, fairly, I don't know what the word is. It's just basically really kind of like not coherent at times when it comes to what he's going for in his action, and it's because he's not an illustrator. I get it. I'm not gonna cut him to ribbons or anything. It's unfortunate because that these are exactly the type of issues I have a problem with when somebody pulls double duty. I can appreciate that they can execute their own vision differently, so I really try to stick with it, and unfortunately these guys aren't going anywhere. Stark is on the book and is at least doing one shots fairly often. As I have said, I'm a little bit ahead in my reading than where I am now, but Ellerby comes back for the bonus shorts, and there's a kind of a kaiju Morty mech battle, which is a lot of fun. Mecha Morty. There's several riffs with Santa Claus and a heartfelt Happy Holidays you glip glops offered by our friend Ellerby. So it's worth checking out, absolutely. Again, kind of a mixed bag with Stark's work. pretty solid writing on the 3 series arc, so I'm not really the 3 series arc, so I'm not upset that Stark is around, but I am concerned that we'll see. I am concerned that the double duty thing unfortunately doesn't really go away when it comes to Stark, and it's not the quality that Fowler was doing. So this has been Rick and Morty Volume 4. And I encourage you to check this out if you have been reading along with me. If you could, leave me a comment to let me know what you're liking. Leave me a comment to let me know what you're not liking, and give it a relative thumbs up based on that, or a thumbs down based on that, so I can continue to improve the quality that I'm putting out here. If you want to know what we're doing and you're not on YouTube all the time, ring the bell so that you get notifications and stuff like that. And let us know what you want to see more of in the future. Again, I've been Andy with Nerds on a Run, and I hope to see you all real soon. Bye-bye.